Back in the 1950s, politics was a world dominated by men. So Margaret Thatcher's emergence on the scene as a promising young talent would have raised a few eyebrows.
Have you been able to combine your political life with looking after a family, running a home?
Well, I mainly do the catering here. I like cooking and I do the shopping, and always a big batch of cooking at the weekend. And of course there are the parliamentary recesses which coincide with the school holidays, so I can see quite a good bit of the children and take them out, and at half-term they come up to the House of Commons and have lunch with me.
A far cry from the Iron Lady, you might think, but by 1966 Mrs. Thatcher was a junior minister and still climbing the career ladder quickly.
This chap Callaghan must go.
She had a rough ride in the early 70s, though, when she was Education Secretary.
Mrs. Thatcher had a fairly difficult time of it from two dissident groups within the National Union of Teachers.
But the experience made her stronger. In 1975, she became Tory leader. She was the first woman to lead a political party in the whole of the Western world.
Mrs. Thatcher, the morning after your election, how do you feel about it now?
Perfectly all right. Perfectly all right. There's so much to be done.
Mrs. Thatcher had become the Iron Lady.
I stand before you tonight in my red star chiffon evening gown, the Iron Lady of the Western world.
But her big chance was still to come. The trade unions had brought down Ted Heath's government in 1974, and now they were threatening to bring down Jim Callaghan's Labour administration too.
What sort of government is it which sees its authority passed to strike committees?
The winter of discontent was Margaret Thatcher's chance to seize power. In 1979, she called a vote of no confidence against the government, and she won.
By the Queen, a proclamation to dissolving the present Parliament and declaring the calling on another.
This is going to turn into a long campaign of personalities. We already saw Mr. Rogers making personal attacks on you. Is that a fear that you have?
I suppose it will be a bit different fighting with a woman leader, but I just hope we're going to fight on the things that will affect the whole future of the country for the next 5 years, because that's what an election is about.
Mrs. Thatcher went on to win that election convincingly. She walked into Downing Street as Britain's first woman Prime Minister on the 4th of May, 1979.